just playing Breath of the Wild and stuff, and I had this like I don't know how to describe, but I was like, in my head I was thinking, what if Tanjiro had a Master Sword? I mean, it's the sword that seals the darkness. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a what if on this. So yeah, that's why I'm making this what if. What if Tanjiro had the Master Sword? All right. Oh yeah, and also, I mean, if you guys know any Zelda, um, any Zelda, you know that the Master Sword can only be wielded by the chosen hero, aka Link. Yeah, and I'm also give him the champion's abilities, and also the Master Sword will be compatible with breathing techniques, and only some s- uh it will only the only breath style that it will only be compatible with is the breath of the sun, and that's the only breathing technique that's going to be compatible with it. Breath of the sun, nothing else. So yeah, all right, let's and oh yeah, and one more thing, I'm actually gonna have his parents die more earlier than in canon. And yeah, and everything else. Okay, let's get started to the sorry for talking this long. I didn't mean this because I was just explaining stuff. All right, let's get to. All right, so we started off with a baby Tanjiro, a baby Tanjiro. I mean, he's just born, as he's still gonna have the scar over his head, as with the Slayer mark, and with the Slayer mark, he already has Slayer mark when he's born. As everything we skip to when he's four, and Tanjiro is actually very in this with him. He's actually gonna be very good in swordsmanship. He's like very into swordsmanship, as he would have a wooden. As he would have a wooden sword, as he would just be practicing on his sword skills. As this Tanjiro would be able to defeat a grown adult at the age of 4. Yes, at the age of 4, he would be able to beat a grown adult in combat. And yeah, since he has the Slayer mark, and of course he's powerful, as he would be able to be grown adult in battle in combat. As everything, we time skip where we see Tanjiro and his mom seeing their father perform the Hinokami Kagura dance. As Tanjiro would observe his movements. As for Tanjiro, Tanjiro's, he looks like he's moving slowly. That's because he's gonna have the trans the see-through world. From a very young age, he is going to have the see-through world. As as yeah, he is gonna have the see-through world. Yeah, which his movements look very slow for Tanjiro. As the next day, as he's practicing with his wooden sword, as he would put down his wooden sword and pick up the leaf. Believe as he would perform the dance just as he saw yesterday. As his father would not notice at the time because he had his eyes closed the whole time. But yeah, Tanjiro performs the Hino Kamikaze dance, but unlike his father's, fire comes out as when Tanjiro's father opened his eyes, he notices Tanjiro doing the dance as fire is coming out. As he would be in shock of a 4-year old being able to do the Hino Kamikaze. That of course he's like 4. As his father would be left speechless, as Tanjiro would always be like a quiet person. He would like never talk and everything else. And oh, and I'm gonna just say this, that where the Master Sword is held, it's like behind their house. I mean, it's like this like forest area, but I mean Tanjiro has gone in the forest before to see what's in it because he just wanted to go play around in the forest. As after his father sees that, he'll be very shocked, and then would calm down and says, "Tanjiro, come here," as he would signal to Tanjiro to come towards him. As Tanjiro would come, as he would tell him, "Tanjiro, you need to breathe and become the fire god." the fire god. As Sanjo would not know what he means at that time, but yeah. And so and so we skip to the other day. Tanjiro would would go outside as he would tell his mom that he would go outside to play. As he would go behind the forest, the forest. As he would just go in a little too deep into the forest, as he would find this like this clearing, and there's like a triangle in the middle of this. And I'm gonna just say that the Deku Tree is not there. It's just that this is these are the events after Breath of the Wild. You know, after everything has been cleared after Breath of the Wild. And you know, we're still gonna be waiting on Breath of the Wild 2 to come out, but it's gonna come out in 2022. So yeah, I'm looking forward for that. As he would see this triangle, this like rock formation and a triangle, there's a sword in the middle. As Sanjo would be of course curious because he's a kid as he would walk towards the sword, and then a big flash of light would repel Tanjiro back like just a couple of feet as as that as the sword places Tanjiro's back as Tanjiro would be confused on what just happened as he walks towards the sword again as it would as this time it would not repel Tanjiro back as when Tanjiro would go to try to pull the sword, but he notices that he can't. He can't as the sword glows, and if you guys know, Jesus Christ, if you guys have played the Champions Battle or have played Skyward Sword before, you guys already know that Fi, uh, the spirit within the Master Sword, speaks to Tanjiro as yeah. Or in like, and not any of the memories in Breath of the Wild, but you guys know in some memories, or not, damn it, yeah. If you complete the trial of the sword, then you guys know at the final trial, as where you where Link gets the full power of the Master Sword, you know, Fi does her little thing that she does in Skyward Sword. As it would do that, as it would tell Tanjiro that Tanjiro, you must pull the sword out. As Tanjiro would be a little bit confused on why there's a talking sword. Okay, it's a sword. It's the man. And okay, and one more thing. I'm gonna just say that the Master Sword works like a Nichiren blade. I mean, it literally called the sword that seals the darkness, so it should be able to repel back evil. I mean, any evil. As Tanjiro would be confused, as pull the sword out. As once again, Fi would speak to him. As again, Fi would speak to him. Yes, you must pull the sword out. But Tanjiro would say, but I can't. As Fi would give him some motivation to pull out the sword. Even though he's four, he's very strong though, since Slimmer. As he would not, as he would say, okay. As Tanjiro would grab the sword. I mean, this is basically just like Ocarina of Time, just like Link pulling out the sword as a child. But yeah, but unlike Ocarina, he doesn't go back in time. Yeah, so as he would grab the sword, as he would slowly but surely pull the sword out, as as once he pulled it out, as he would raise it up into the sky, as he would raise it up to the sky, and it would turn blue, uh, or its ultimate form. As Tanjiro raises the sword up, he notices the power that he wields in his hand. As Tanjiro does that, a blinding light surrounds Tanjiro, and changes his clothes to the champion's tunic and his pants too. And now he has the sheath for the Master Sword on his back. as he sees that his clothes has changed, to the champion's tunic. I mean, I like Link's green tunic, but I'm gonna just go with the champion's tunic, or the champion's tunic for now. Actually, never mind, not for now. As the champion's tunic would adjust to Link's measurements, as when he gets older, his clothes would also grow with him, just to fit his measurements. His yeah. As once he holds the Master Sword up, Fire starts speaking to him that you must protect this land now and forever. S- defeat any evil. Defeat any evil. You must protect this land from the great evil. As Tanjiro would not have said, uh, as everything else, as four spirits would appear. This would be Mifa, Ravali, Urbosa, and Daruk. As they would give Tanjiro their champion abilities: Mifa's Grace, Ravali's Gale, Urbosa's Fury, and Daruk's Protection. As first they would go Mifa, Ravali, Urbosa, and then Daruk. As now Tanjiro, I'm making Tanjiro OP as a 4-year-old. Yeah, yeah. As so, as all four champions say, please use these powers well for good, not for evil. Okay, you must. We hope you be safe on your journeys. As Tanjiro would nod his head. As as now he feels very attached to the Master Sword now, as its glow representing at its full power. Its full power, and it can also shoot out beams. Yeah, beams, just like in Skyward Sword. Unlike the double helix sword that Fierce Stadium Link has, which is not the only sword that can like shoot out disc beams besides the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild. And yeah, yeah. As he would bow down and say, "Thank you. It's a real pleasure to meet all you, and I will be safe on my journeys." As as they would all disappear, as they would hug Tanjiro, but even though they're spirits, they would hug Tanjiro, as he would feel happy. As now Tanjiro walks out of the forest, looking where he has the champion tunic, the master sword on his back, champion abilities, great. As his mother and father would be outside, as they would see Tanjiro walking out with this blue champion's tunic, as they would see his sword on his back, as they would be a little bit surprised because Tanjiro has a blue tunic on, or the blue champion tunic and the master sword. As they would tell Tanjiro, "Where have you been?" As Tanjiro would say, "Oh, I went into the forest and played for a little bit, and I found this sword." As he would take it out, as he would take it out, and then its glow would appear. As his father and mother would be surprised about when the sword glowed in front of them. As he would say, "That's not all, father. Look." As he would go into this like open area, as look, as he would snap his finger, as lightning would appear, and they're just in shock. And then he and then no, wait, no, actually, yeah. And he takes out his sword and then cuts himself. As they'll see, Tanjiro, no, why would he do that? As they would see, he would start healing. As they would be even more surprised because he's healing now. As as for the next ability, he would use Vivaldi's Gale. As he would, crouch down, and then wind would start appearing out of nowhere. As he would jump up, as he would land perfectly safely or safe. As they just have no words to say to Tanjiro. As next he would use the Rook's protection. as he would use the Reach protection, it would protect them from any attacks, as they would be shocked, like shocked, like really shocked. And then after, and then right after that, they would hug Tanjiro and say, Tanjiro, you really are special. As he would say, yes, I am, father. As he would time skip when Tanjiro is, let's say, 8. Yeah, 8. As Tanjiro's 8, as he would go down to so Cole back down, as he would as he would always carry a sword around, sword. As he would be running down the mountain, go run into so Cole, as he would finish selling coal, as he would finish selling coal, as he would go back up the mountain walking, as he realized that it's getting night, as it's getting dark, as he would say in his mind, I should really hurry up, it's getting late, as he would now just sprint back up the mountain like really fast. As once he was like almost close to his house, he smelled blood. As he said to himself, blood? Where's the blood? I need to hurry up. As he would go even faster than before, as he would be there, as this time Nezuko doesn't get turned into a demon, she's dead. I'm sorry for all you Nezuko fans, but I'm sorry, she's gonna have to die this one. This time she doesn't become a demon. Yeah, as God, ow, coughing off. As Tanjo would realize that his whole family is dead. His whole family is dead. As he would say all their names, as he wouldn't remember the scent of the person who killed his family. Of course, it's Muzan, of course. As Tanjo buries them all, as he prays for them, as Tanjiro, as Tanjo has, of course, he still has the Hanafu demons, of course. As then he would say, well then, I guess it's time to start my journey. I will miss you, mother, father, Nezuko, and all my siblings. I will miss you all. Please be looking out for me. As he would now run, as he would run into a direction he doesn't know where he's running, but on his way, as he would go somewhere. No, actually, he would go to the Demon Slayer HQ, as he doesn't know that this is the Demon Slayer HQ. As Tanjiro would just be walking around. No, actually, no. Actually, no. As he would just be just traveling, just yeah. As we go to when, as we go to the Demon Slayer HQ, as um as the Demon Slayer Master, Ubuyashiki, no, as the Master would say to all the Hashers that he's going to go to the market. As where this market was, as Tanjiro was actually very close to this market to as so they would say, but master, you need a Hashira, bodyguard to bodyguard you. As he would say, no, my child, no, my children, I do not need Hashira to protect me. It would be a very quick, but master, as he would say, silent. As they would be silent. As the master would say, so I'll be on my way. I would not take long. As as he does that, he goes to market and he's going back to the HQ. As Tanjiro would hear word about final selection, as he would say, I might as well go to final selection. As 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 on his way to go to final selection, he notices the master. As as he would say, who is this person? As Upper Moon 6 would come out of nowhere and try to kill the the master. As Tanjiro would notice this, as Tanjiro seeing this, he would grab his master sword and say, "Stop that!" As he cut Doki's arm. As the master would be surprised on who this child was. He's an 8-year-old. As as Tanjiro would say, "Sir, are you all right, sir?" Yes, my child, but who are you? There's no time to explain. I'm just a kid. As he would, as now his attention would be on Ducky. As Tanja would say, "Who the hell are you?" As she would say, I'm Ducky, Upper Moon 6. As, why are you trying to kill this man? Huh? You don't know this. You don't know this guy. This this guy is the master for the Demon Slayer HQ. Is wait what? As turned as an as as all the upper moons except Kokushiba would no actually yeah Kokushiba would appear as Muzan as when Tanjiro smelled Muzan as he would say as he would sniff the air as he would say you were the one who killed my family. Remember the house up on the mountain? It was you, wasn't it? As Tanjiro would now be enraged as the master was like, child, please don't fight. They're really strong. No, I have to fight. He's the one who killed my family. As Tanjiro would of course he would be brave, of course, as he would charge in with with no fear for his own life, as he would as he would start battling all the upper moons at once, as he would actually start beating them because every single time he got hurt, his wounds would just heal. As the upper moons would be shocked because he's healing because he's not a demon, he's clearly human. As then as when all the time as when all the other moons were going to jump Tanjo, he snapped his fingers and lightning um struck everybody as they would all be paralyzed as Tanjo would cut them all in half as they could not regenerate anymore. It completely stopped their regeneration. Not only he stopped all the upper moons in their tracks, as he would say, "You have you had enough? Or else I will kill you all where you stand." As Musa would fear Tanjo because there would be a image of Yorichi behind him as he would get scared, as he would try and run away, but then he would raise his sword up into the sky and then swing his sword back down as a disc would shoot out from his sword as cut to Muzan's hand as he would take all the upper moons with him. As Muzan would say, "Damn it, I will get you one day, you damn brat." As he would turn around and say, Sir, are you alright?" As the master would be very, very shocked about this 8-year-old beating all of the upper moons at once, even striking fear into Muzan, as 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 the master would make the decision of making Tanjiro his bodyguard. As he would say, "Child, what is your name?" As he would bow down and say, "My name is Tanjiro Kamado. Nice to meet you." As the master would say, "Oh, please don't bow. Please raise your head." As he would raise his head, as he would say, "Hey, why don't you come with me?" As, "But I need to go to the final selection." As he would say, "There's no need for that. Just follow me." As he would say, as Tanjiro would agree, as he would follow the master back to the Demon Slayer HQ, as when they got there, and as when the master got there, as Tanjiro would be hiding behind the master's back because doesn't like to meet, or he does like to meet people, but he's very shy with it. As as the master would return, all the Hajj would say, "Master, how so that so how did it go?" "Well, I was fine, but I met Upper Moon, all the Upper Moons." As the Hajj would say, "Wait, you met the Upper Moons? I knew you needed a bodyguard, Master." As he would say, "Silent." silent, as they would all be quiet, as the master would explain to them about how Upper Moon Six was about to kill him until 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 a child saved them. As it would be, what, a child? What are you saying, master? That can't be right. That can't be true. As the master would say, Tanjiro, come out. You don't need to be shy. As he would poke his head from out of the master's back, as he would come out and as he would say, hello, my name is Tanjiro. Nice to meet you all. As Sanemi would be, are you kidding me? This brat defeated, as the master would already explain on how he defeated all the upper ones, but they escaped. Sanemi would say, huh? Are you kidding me, master? This brat defeated the upper moons? Don't make me laugh, master. I'm sorry to say that, but don't make me laugh. This kid looks weak. As Tanjiro would have a serious face on him now, as as Tanjiro would say, "If you think I'm weak, it then I would be honored to fight you." As he would bow down, as he would look to the master and say, "May I fight him?" As the master would nod. As as Tanjiro gets in his in his position, as Sanemi already has his sword drawn. As he Tanjiro when Tanjiro takes out his sword when he took it out, it wasn't glowing. But once he got into his fighting stance, the sword glowed. As everybody would be surprised why his sword glowed. As also, whenever Tanjiro hits something, it makes a it makes the like impact that it's like really hard. Like you guys know when you guys play Breath of the Wild, then you go near malice, and then your sword glows. And then whenever you hit somebody, it like makes that sound. I don't know. It's like satisfying to me. As when Tanjiro as as Tanjiro would count down three, two, one, go. As without sounding me seen, as before he could even raise his sword, or actually he did raise his sword. As Tanjiro would strike his Sanemi's sword, as it would be cut in half. As it would be cut in half. As after cutting his sword in half, as she would go directly towards his neck and stop a couple inches from his head and say, "You're weak, but I commend you for fighting me." As he would start to laugh, as he would give like a cute chuckle, as he would put his sword back in place, as he would help Sanemi get back up because he fell down, as other Hachas would be very shocked by the power that this kid holds. Wow, I didn't. Wow. Wait. Okay. Okay. I forgot what I was gonna say. Um. As Tony would say, well then, it was a nice fight, but you cannot stand to match my power. I didn't even use my full power. Hmm. As he would go back to the master's side and say, Tanjo. As he would get down on one knee and say, Tanjo, would you like to be my bodyguard? As Tanjiro would be, his like, eyes would widen, as the Hashos would be surprised that the master asked a child to be his bodyguard. As Tanjiro would nod his head as he would say, I would love to be your bodyguard. As as he would announce that Tanjiro would be a Hashira, he would be known as the damn it, I don't know what he would be known. Um uh you know what? Why not the Sun Hashira? Because he also told the master that he also knows sun breathing. As as the master would say, he would be known as the Sun Hashira. As the Hashira would be shocked, Sun Hashira? As as he would say, yeah, I know sun breathing. As he would give out this cute little chuckle. As every Hashira would be very shocked. And so yeah, I'm actually gonna leave it off right there. Please tell me if you guys like it down in the comments. So yeah, please like and subscribe. It'll be really much appreciated.